Welcome to Anecdotes for Success with Matt and Paul. Storytelling is an art form, emphasizing the value and learning that is created through personal experience. Our purpose is to share these stories and experiences with the listener. Everyone has a powerful testimony. Let's use them to level up to our best life with truth, meaning, trade-offs, and perspective.
I'm like a broken record, but we should have just recorded what we were talking about.
I was thinking that while we were talking.
You've grown so much in the last couple of years. I've done new things in the last couple of years. We don't catch up like we used to. Like, we play phone tag a lot, you know. You've got the little one now, which adds to a little bit of chaos in life.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
We're kind of on different schedules in a sense, but we found this common time in the morning, and then we just go off to the races. I swear I'm just going to hit record one of these days.
Yeah, we might have to have some language warnings when we do it.
Yes. It's funny, as an educator for so long, I can turn that switch on and off very easily. Unless I'm golfing. But yeah, so let's talk about the new year. Have you had any convos with people? It's always about resolutions. And, you know, I read a stat by January 9th, 80% of people stop their resolutions.
By the 9th?
Yeah. Again, I don't know if there's any truth to it, but it doesn't surprise me. I guarantee you by now people have.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, you know, you bring that up because I read all the time anyway, just, you know, I love to, and in podcasts, of course, and that kind of thing. And there's just one thing that resonated with me recently on that topic. It was probably prior to the new year, where I was hearing some people talk about it, probably read some articles on it. It's so true. It's about motivation, right? And you know, people get fired up and motivated, right? That time of year. Hey, you know, new year, new me, that whole goofy thing. And I'm gonna, and you know, they're listening to someone or reading something, and you know, and the long and the short of it is motivation never lasts. It has to be habit. If it's not habitual, it doesn't stick, right? And it's just so true. And whatever it is you're doing in life, if it's a habit, if you make it habitual, well, then it's hard to stop, right? And if it's not habitual, it's almost impossible to continue. And those were my words there, but that's a summary of the whole thing. And you know, I thinking through that, I think of all the things in my life that I do that, you know, are habitual. I would argue most of them are good. Not all of them, but most of them are good. And those are the things that I continue and stick. And you know, I started working out consistently, and by consistently I mean 6 to 7 days a week, 4 or 5 months ago. And you know, I'm not one of these. I'm going to wait till the new year. Like, to me, that's just such a lie. That's just such a lie to yourself to start in the first place. That it feels wrong. But and then, you know, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I were in Mexico on vacation, and I worked out there every single day because it's a habit.
Right.
Because it's a habit, and I didn't want to break the habit because I knew as much as I could have and justified it and all that kind of stuff. I could have easily broken it, but I knew what that might mean.
Well, I did the same thing, similar story. I noticed I put on, since we've owned this tap house, I put on the Tap House 15 because I'm eating food trucks all the time. It's convenient. It's not any one of those meals. It's the reverse habit of eating them all the time.
Correct.
So I didn't wait till New Year's. I started November 1st, and every morning, I mean, I worked out already. It's 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and I've already come down here. I put the workout room here where I spend most of my time.
Smart. That was such a good idea.
And the funny thing about habits and consistency is you never feel bad after you grind through it. Even if it's not your best, as long as it's 100%, if you're only feeling 50%, just give 100% of that. It all adds up. I'm a big consistency guy. I use the word a lot. our softball team this year, the
Mm,
motto is going to be small moments yield big results. I mean, I'm tweaking the words, but
sure.
it's just celebrate every small win you have, all that micro stuff, and you can use all that technology of all those or all the terminology of all those authors smarter than us that have bigger platforms and are wonderful inspirations. But it's got to come from you, and it's got to be day by day by day. And if you miss a day, that's okay,
Yeah.
but don't miss two
Don't
days
miss tomorrow.
because
Yeah.
each day gets easier to just say, it was a good run.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was sick for 2 weeks in the beginning of the year, missed a couple days, but I got in there a lot too, you know.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I love these stories. You don't wait till what's the new year? How about new day? Like what's the
Right.
whole point? Like it's
How
a
about
calendar
now?
year. Yeah, it's so if you start today, it's a year from today in your life. It's had nothing to do with the calendar's an excuse.
The calendar's meaningless, right? When it comes to this conversation, it is start it now, and no, you're gonna have times you can't do it. In fact, one of the things that I've gotten in the habit of doing actually is, and I got this from someone I listened to, was, I'm gonna take Sundays off, right? That was one of the things. No, it's always funny, like, a lot of times we choose to take the days off that we have the most free time, you know?
100%.
You know, it was like when I was in Mexico, I'm like, why would I take these days off? I've got more time to kill here than I
Yeah.
ever have at home. Like
Yep.
I could do twice the length of workouts here. You know what I mean? Which I did on a couple occasions. But the habit I got into, and I thought it was a good idea, instead of taking whatever, pick a day off. I just work out every day because this person had said, look, inevitably I'm going to have a day a week or approximately where I've got to get on an airplane early that morning so I can, work or I'm not feeling well or something. So I can just miss that one day and not have to like just
Right.
kill myself over it, mentally. I can go, okay, well, I'm missing 3, 4 days a month that way, which I would have done anyway. So I've done that. Never tried that before. I'm doing that. And frankly, I hardly missed any time at all, but there will be times I miss, and I don't
100%.
I don't have that guilt that rides me otherwise if it's not a quote unquote day off.
Well, yeah, I love that. One thing I do, well, I used to do it years ago when my kids were in high school. Their softball coach at the time said, "You want to throw better, be stronger, be able to do chin ups, have upper body strength, hit the ball, do 100 push ups every day all winter." She called it the Big Arms Club, 10,000 push ups.
Okay.
And just, I mean, I'm not saying that nobody can do 100 push-ups, but so when they're watching TV, they had a little chart, and
Yeah.
my girls had each other, which was great. They do 10 at a time.
10.
Every
Yeah.
com every commercial of their show, and I did it with them. And wow, you talk about feeling like you're doing nothing, but then seeing it later. So I do when I started in November again, I do 100 push-ups every day, even if I can't get my workout in, and it still feels like a workout.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah,
And
that's a
again,
great idea.
I do military, regular, long. I go from blocks of 10, or some days I do. Today I did blocks of 25 because I knew I was just I got here a little late and we were getting on, and you can mix it up how you do it. Decline ones with a chair
Yeah.
sometimes, and have these little handle things so my wrists don't hurt. And it's
Yep. Yep.
nothing like 100 put. You can literally do it in 2 minutes if you were really in a crunch for time once you get going.
Right. Right. Right.
And and to me, it's important to realize that my window is the morning. And if I don't get it in,
Yeah.
don't kid yourself, "Oh, I'll do it later." You probably won't, because if you're disciplined in other aspects of your life, including downtime or hot tub time or going out to eat time, whatever your day
Whatever
is,
you do. Yeah.
just go enjoy that. You missed your window, but
Yeah.
just don't miss it every day.
Yeah. I'm
Like
I'm the
people
same way. That
mindlessly
window matters.
yeah. People mindlessly go to jobs they can't stand for 30 years, but they can't consistently hit a window to make themselves better. I don't
Great point.
understand it.
Great
You know,
point.
I mean, I don't know. I've been lucky. Well, the reason I got into teaching is because I couldn't stand the job I had for a year. And I feel like I've never had a job really. I just like my days in life. And I've just added. And I know I'm preaching to the choir with you, but you can't find a window to better yourself. Doesn't make it. You can find a window to watch the Bills on Sunday. You can
Right.
find
Yeah.
or whoever. You find all these windows to do things, but you can't find the window that matters most. I
And
don't get it.
and yeah, and that goes the same for I'm not as good at it, but I try to do the same for reading. I try to have a block that I know I'm going to spend half hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is, um, reading because, again, that's a workout obviously for your mind and so important on how you view the world and where you go in life and right now I'm big into books on children because I have a young daughter.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to make sure I feed my mind things on proper discipline, doing it the right way, right? Things that will make her a better, well-rounded person, those and what my participation level in that can be. And so I've gotten very much into that, which, it's funny because, God, Paul, I'm learning so many things on that topic, like normally, I mean, I would look back and go, I've always been a good parent, but you know what I mean? Like I think that, right? And I think all in all, because I've, my older daughter, of course, who
right,
um, but like reading these books and I'm not talking hokey,
right.
new age, like it not that there's anything wrong with new age stuff, because there's opportunity there as well, but like there's nothing in these that you'd be like, well, this is, eye rolling material. But I'm like, oh, I could have done that better. Ooh, I see why that would, and just those opportunities to what I feel like is like poke your mind and just change your, the way maybe you look at things, and I see myself putting those things into action. You talk about battering yourself, um, and then as I do that, it's like the workouts. Those blocks of times and those priorities become that much more valuable to me, and it makes the habits even stronger.
Blows my mind. Somebody that owns multiple businesses is carving out 30 minutes a day to read.
Mm.
You had me at that, not even about children and parenting and everything else, because I could tell you what to do. You wouldn't even need a book, but that's another conversation. Now, I'm uh I'm listening. So people see me walking every morning after I work out, right? I have a little light on my hat. My wife used to get mad at me. It's too dark. I'm like, I can see the cars. They're coming at me. Like huge. But I'm like, okay. And
She's right,
I
by
only
the way.
walk, yeah, I walk a mile some days. Sometimes it's two, whatever I can fit in before I start my work day. And that's not a lot, but well, it adds up over time, but it's my podcast time.
Yeah.
So you're talking 20, 30 minutes. Right now I'm on Ben Franklin's autobiography and it's a 32-hour book. And I don't know, then you talk about perspective, talks about the first time he goes to England and he wrote a lot. Like he wrote a year ahead for his Poor Richard's Almanac because you're just on a boat for 8, 9 weeks with literally nothing to do. I don't even know how you work out on a boat back then. But I don't know. Just I'm really into autobiographies. You said you're into the child stuff. I'm into autobiographies because man, how'd they do it? And the book never does it justice because here I'm trying to 8 weeks on a boat, I
Yeah,
can't get
right.
through 8 weeks of winter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. With
And-
computers and TVs and indoor plumbing and all the things of the
yeah.
world.
And I've been real into the founding fathers, and I've come to the conclusion
Mhm.
none of them would be real happy right now.
I
And
think your
and
conclusion's probably right. I don't think the vision has played out quite the way they would have
but
liked
you
250
know,
years later.
yeah, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an experiment, I guess, at the end of the day. But yeah,
It's funny, Paul. I've had the chance to read um so many books on the founding fathers. It's just fun. We've never talked about that before,
no,
but same thing. Fascinated by all of them and their backgrounds and experience. I've read multiple, I don't know, more than five, less than 20, but multiple books on either them as a group, them
Yeah.
apart, that kind of thing. And autobiographies are so wonderful. I've read,
Wait,
forget,
wait, time out.
yeah.
I think I should have said biography because auto means they
Oh,
wrote it,
is that,
right?
is that okay? Okay, I think you're right about that. We didn't, yeah,
Yeah, sorry, it clicked when you said it.
well, let me back up. I've read book like on them. I've read
Yeah,
biographies. I've read plenty, but I've also read, especially on business people, a number of autobiographies. So, regardless of the topic, the point I'm trying to make is reading about other people's experiences and realizing that everyone's gone through hard times, everyone's had
yeah,
difficulties, everyone's failed. When I started years ago to decide to change my life in a certain direction, reading whether they are autobiographies or biographies of individuals, business, politics, whatever, was one of the things that changed, rewired my brain in going, oh, these people aren't these people you set on a pedestal because they were just so much smarter than us and so much better than us and so much this and that. It helped me realize, oh, they're human and so am I, and in many ways they're just following the same pattern, which had a lot of failure involved. And I realized, oh, I can do that. I can certainly fail and fail your way up. And I was just making the point that like, it had a very big impact on my life.
yeah. They just didn't stop. I mean, I listened to a biography about George Washington this summer. His mom pretty much was rooting for the British. Like she was
Really?
a well, yeah. And, it's like, wow, how do you say I'm not proud of you, son, without saying I'm not proud of you? I mean, ask your child experts about that one. You know what that messes with you. But
No wonder he had wooden teeth.
yeah, I know. Well, funny story about that. He was down to one tooth
Okay.
and he kept having all these different types made, and he wasn't having that. It would have been so easier for him if he had that pull, but he was too proud. It's
Is that
like,
right?
yeah, and there's stories about that. But even moving forward, I know you've talked about it. I'll be with a group of people and I don't seem interested sometimes because I don't even like what they're talking about, if that makes sense. It's just
Mhm.
gossip and complaining, and they're nothing progressive in a sense of, I think I'm going to work on this next year. I think I'm going to build this. No, they want to tear other people down, complain how they could be a better coach, complain about politics. And somebody was going off about Elon Musk sometime a couple weeks ago, and I said, have you ever listened or read his blog? Well, in his case, it's an autobiography because he helped write it. Uh, because I did. It was like 30 hours long, and it's incredible what he went through as a human being and how really all he's done is just help people.
Well,
And
Paul, that would require some effort. You know how much simpler it is to post a message on Facebook and then wait for the likes to come in. Let's
yeah,
face
and I'll
it.
tell you what, he when I see him do stuff, like when he has his businesses, he comes in and he'll make statements like he automatically just cuts 20% of his workforce because it makes the other 80% better. That's ruthless.
Yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah. 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 He is.
his rockets fell on purpose because he's trying to see what he can take them to.
Yeah.
And he gets mad when people don't fail and try to make changes because it means they're too complacent. Like I, I
Mm.
couldn't be him. I don't even know if I could work for him, but everybody that works for him understands it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what you go in for.
Yeah.
Go in knowing, I presume.
Nobody, I started talking about it and they just all dismissed it. I'm like, I literally just listened to the book and you're telling me you know better. I can't, we were talking before this. I just have so little tolerance for that. And you used to tell me stories before I had my businesses, and I'm like, it can't be that bad. No, it's that bad. It's terrible.
Yeah, it can be, and I'm sure a lot like you. I'm respectful of people's opinions and thoughts and that kind of thing. However, I'd like to know that you put a little effort into it when you when you created those thoughts. And the fact of the matter is most people don't create thoughts. The vast majority of us just repeat what we heard from someone else, right?
Yeah.
Or what we, heard on the news or read online or whatever it is. And we live in a weird time where there's whatever your opinion is, it doesn't matter. The stronger it is and the more powerful it is, the more attention it gets, and therefore the more dopamine hit you get as a person who put it. And it's addictive, and it's leading us down these terrible paths. Paul, I hate to be the I told you so guy. I really do. And God knows I've been wrong more than I've been right in my life. I'll lay that out there. But I will say this. I've been screaming for 10 years about how bad social media is and
Yeah.
how 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 we will look back, and we're doing it already. Actually, I say already, it should have happened long ago. But we will look back as a society and go, what in the world were we doing? I mean, it is so obvious the poison it is to us as humans. Forget children. I mean, that's beyond debate, the harm it does to them. But you take a 50-year-old, normally regulated person, and you let them go, on Twitter and Facebook and whatever else is out there, TikTok or whatever, and you just let them sit there on it and participate, it will change them as a person. And I was hearing statistics about all sorts of horrible statistics on if you spend X amount of time or more online, your likelihood of doing this behavior, that behavior goes up exponentially. And the behaviors I'm talking about, Paul, are not behaviors I think you would
Right.
admire.
Right.
It's
Oh,
it's absolute poison for us. And it's sad because it's got people it's wrecking them.
yeah. And I mean, you're literally doing it to yourself.
And
You
I
know,
get it, because one of the reasons I got off everything is because instead of doing my half hour or 45 minutes of reading, Paul, I'd noticed I spent most of that time scrolling. And or I'm picking up
yeah.
my phone during the day, and all of a sudden I blink and I go, it's been a half hour. And all I've seen is nonsense and not that there's not things that are, could be important there, but you've got to check yourself in that environment, and it is designed to suck you in. And the technology and the psychology behind it are way stronger than most of us are able to handle. And it has got to be dealt with.
You
It's got
know,
to be dealt with.
I see it all the time. You see couples come in for a drink at the tap house. Oh, well,
Yeah,
someone's watching our kids. And then I look over at the table and they have their drinks and they're both just on their phone.
never said a word to each other.
No, the whole point of coming out. My wife and I have the other problem. We try to go to places that don't have a lot of cars because odds are we're going to know people, and then we don't talk to each other because we're
Yeah,
talking to everybody else, which that's not the same problem.
right.
But,
But
but
yeah,
I go out, I want to see, don't get me wrong. Love my quiet. I joke that I don't even like people because I like my quiet time. I need my workout time, my walks, my quiet time at night so
yeah.
I can have those engaging conversations
Mm.
because they empty you. If you're really into it, it gets you excited, but it drains you.
And that's a good way to put it. It takes something out of you if you're right, if you're into it and you're participating.
But instead, the phone just sucks all that out of you. And now you're left with what? Comparing yourself to people you don't even know
Yeah, and
that are probably faking what they're showing you anyways.
anyway, and resentment and anger. And I again, I love podcasts, because I only when I say a podcast, I always try to listen to things that I can learn from them. Everything I
Right.
do, I just try to, like, how do I learn from this? Talking about the number of bots and stuff that are out there. There's 50% of on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not, don't quote me on that, but the point is the numbers are so high, and all you've got is these bot farms everywhere designed to stoke people up and cause
It's true.
controversy, and people are just in it 10, 12 hours a day just on their social media. Like not only is it bad for us, but there are organizations or essentially people out there looking to do this to you. And I just don't think I don't know what the way out is. I'm one of the most least regulated kind of people there is. I don't like that for the most part. This is one though, Paul, I'm at a loss on without regulation.
Yeah, well, it's funny. My reports from students when they come see me every day is most of their schools are still pretty adamant about not using your phone. And in the cafeteria, people are just talking
I
and
love
doing
it.
what we used to. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's a start. I
Yeah.
never I never thought I'd see that day, especially I was always an advocate for the phones because they're so powerful.
Yeah.
But again, that was my students in my class. It's feel like you have to cut the waste like Elon used to say. You have to do something a little draconian at first to switch the momentum, change
Yeah.
direction. But hey, I mean, this was fun as always. It's a fun part of my morning.
Mine too.
And we had a little hiccup with a guest, but they'll be here next week and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
Matt. Bye.